young Adrian Cooper.
Oh, I do like the word young.
You're looking...
Thank you for that.
You must be in the midst of summer. Anyway, the last time we met and had a discussion on WCTV, we talked about the march that Climate Justice had, which was well attended, well covered, both in the print and video media.
It was
went
so
around.
encouraging, wasn't it?
It was encouraging, and I think you proposed sort of 6 start solutions as to what the community as a whole, if practical, could adopt and do and look forward to doing.
That's right. Perhaps this is a good time for me to remind your viewers about what those 6 are.
Yes, absolutely.
Starting off with the first one, wherever possible, to walk and cycle on short local journeys. I know some people are going to be shouting at their television screens now if they got 17 bags of shopping. Of course it's not possible, and that's why I say where possible, when possible. So walking and cycling more often, just to cut emissions. That's the simple logic there. Second one is to use public transport more often. I know public transport isn't ideal, but where it's possible, then that's
But
right.
it is suffering quite significant cuts, certainly in Suffolk, sadly,
that's
which
right.
is very short-sighted.
I always cover myself by saying where possible. And I know it has limitations, I know there are problems, but any opportunity that we can find to cut emissions. Number 3 is to eat less meat. And again, you viewers might be thinking, well, where's the logic there, Adrian? I'll briefly tell you, if we eat less meat, we cut the demand for land needed for cattle feed, and if we do that, we reduce the demand for deforestation. So, so the forest can help to look after.
Equally, I'm sure that the viewer is aware that it's if we look at beef, particularly, which unfortunately is a very high demander of input to produce an output, and only 3% of the total input ends up as being beef on your plate.
That's
right. It is so inefficient as a means. I mean, it should be our Christmas and New Year treat, perhaps. But you know, I mean, I think chicken is the most effective converter of food into meat. But at the end of the day, we must be moving towards a plant-based diet, wouldn't you say?
This is. I know a lot of people are doing that. They're having meat-free Mondays and all of it, which is great.
Fish.
That whatever works, whatever helps. These are small steps, but I think if everybody helps to take them, and if everybody encourages everybody else. Anyway, so we've got those few. With the meat, the next one is to recycle your old digital devices ethically. Envirophone.com. I know the YMCA charity shop in Hamilton Road take them in, but Envirophone actually pay you to help recycle, so there's an added motivation there. I think Homebase take them in, so that's another one. And the far right leader in local debate is PV panels. And here we have to thank the brilliant analysis of Felixstowe Citizen Science Group, who have provided a regular flow of excellent data. They work with a network of domestic PV panel owners, but they've got one typical domestic PV panel set in central Felixstowe, so it's like the ideal average of averages. And since installation in July 2011, that single domestic PV panel has saved 30 tonnes of CO2. Now, sounds great, doesn't it? But that's just one domestic PV panel. Imagine if PV panels were on, I know, pie in the sky, every home. We won't get to every home, but if you multiply that by thousands of homes just in the Felixstowe area, that is terrific environmental leadership, isn't it?
So explain to me why, with the building that we currently have going on, of which there is considerable, a lot of domestic, but there is quite a lot of warehousing.
Yes.
Why actually isn't it a requirement, a planning requirement by central government, that where it is practical and sensible, that they are built with solar panels as a part of the design, and why isn't that a requirement to get planning consent to build these things?
Because people talk the talk and they don't go that extra mile to walk, to implement the practicalities.
But it's bizarre, is it?
It is.
I mean, here we have...
It's a missed opportunity,
It
isn't
is massive. But what I find bizarre is, at the same time as we are not asking big warehouse schemes and housing schemes to have panels, we're actually giving consent for solar farms to be put on top of prime agricultural land
It's
in the middle of the
crazy, isn't
countryside.
it?
Explain. I mean, I think it was a 38 hectare site. Massive, absolutely
yes,
massive.
yes.
Well, if we look at the lack of solar panels in and around pretty much everywhere, and particularly on brand new schemes, and it should be factored in, I would have thought, as a requirement. Well, it should be a national planning requirement, I would have thought.
I would have thought so.
So I know not why it isn't.
Nor do I, but here's a challenge for your viewers. Write to the Senior Executive of East Suffolk Council and ask them that. If
It wasn't in the local plan. I attended the meetings, and the local plan was more interested in cramming lots of houses into small spaces.
Well, we can
they
change the plan.
Well, we should. You know, and it'll be up for review in a couple of years' time.
Nelson Mandela said things are only impossible until they're achieved.
Yes,
And we know what he achieved, don't we?
Yes, we do.
So, yes, it's all very well to say, oh, the plans are in place. This is the way we've always done it.
No, we can't do that.
I don't like that thinking, because we don't have the luxury of that thinking anymore.
We've run out of time.
We have to rethink our fundamentals, and if we can take PV farms and put them on top of warehouse areas,
It's a double, isn't it?
to me,
income.
that's joined up thinking.
Yeah.
The first beneficiary will be the warehouse owners, because they're
They'll
going to
have
have all of their electricity
for
paid
free.
for.
Yeah.
Then they're going to export some. And being green is marketable.
Yes.
People are going to feel good about it. It's going to be efficient. And I think this is the time for joined up thinking. And the people who I like to think I'm advocating for most is the next generation, the youngsters, the people who spoke so brilliantly at the end of the Climate Justice March.
Yes.
We had quite a number of speeches at the end of the march. By far away the best speeches were from the youngsters. They spoke with passion, but they also spoke with knowledge, understanding and insight. And that combination should be respected now. At the moment they don't have the power, but we should be advocating that, and we should dare to dream about a time soon when PV panels can be on the roof of warehouses.
Everything.
Absolutely.
So that is collecting energy. The thing that I'm equally worried about is what is being done to reduce the demand on the energy that is needed, e.g. making houses and homes more efficient, etc.
Sure.
I mean, many decades ago, you may remember there was a politician called Paddy Ashdown,
Yes.
who's ex-military,
Yes.
had been unemployed, and when he was unemployed he actually was engaged in fitting thermal insulation in lofts, etc., etc.
Sure.
And as a result of that, when he did become a politician, he said, why is it we've got, at that time, several million people unemployed when there are houses that in the winter are virtually unheatable?
Yes.
Why aren't we using that workforce with thermal
Yes.
insulation and actually improving our housing stock? Because our housing stock is lamentably built.
This
It
is
is.
it, yes.
It really is.
We're living at a time, and here I'm going to be controversial, that the heat pump technology,
Yes.
I know some people like it, but I've listened to a lot of people who have installed heat pumps.
Yes, and it's
they're
not-
not happy.
No, they're not.
Their homes during the winter are
Cold.
really cold and miserable. And we're meant to, this is Great Britain. We're meant to be one of the most affluent nations. We shouldn't have people living in cold.
No, we shouldn't.
So if we can help them in any way, number one, improve the technology, improve heat pump technology, but also insulate. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
And all these elements, they are contributions to the solution.
Yeah, the whole bit. You know, reduce supply, improve demand.
Absolutely.
Let's reduce that. Have sustainable, clean supply, and then reduce demand on top of that.
Why not? Yes.
And it'd be lovely, wouldn't it, to be living on a planet whereby we weren't damaging it just by staying warm or cold, whichever it may
The
be.
problem is, I think, I've said already, and used this phrase, joined up thinking, turning that around. Too many people suffer from silo thinking.
Yes, they
In
do.
other words, they just think within their own department.
We've always done it this way.
We've always done it this
Yeah.
way, and I've got a rival in finance or marketing, and I'm not going to cooperate with them. Well, why not? Because again, we don't have the luxury of silo thinking anymore. We have to dispense with that. We have to integrate. We have to synthesize our thinking and rethink a lot of our assumptions
Yes,
in order to make things work. Because we no longer have the luxury of time to get things wrong.
Nice to speak to you, young man, and hopefully
Thank you
we'll have
very
another
much.
little chat in a few weeks when
Well, I hope so.
hopefully you've had the opportunity to have a chat with the Felixstowe Town Council.
I'm looking forward to
what
that.
they may be doing. That's sometime in September, I think, isn't it? So you've got a
13th
little
of
bit of time
September.
to prepare your pitch,
Yes.
if that's what you need to do.
Yes.
But I think, I mean, we did, before we started shooting, go through a long list of things that they are doing, and it's really the next steps along the way, isn't it?
Yeah.
And what can be done. And,
to tell people about that
yeah.
list, because that's one of the best kept secrets in Felixstowe.
well, it is, sadly. It really is. Okay, viewers, thanks very much indeed. Excellent. See you the next time. Bye for now.
Thank you.